I have been into vintage clothing since my early high school days of 2012, maybe even before this. A few reasons why I started collecting vintage clothes and started getting into vintage history was because of icons like the Beatles, Marilyn Monroe, and Audrey Hepburn. You know, the typical classics. It wasn't until 2020 that I joined TikTok. I didn't exactly start making vintage content till a year later in 2021, and it wasn't until 2022 where I actually started taking it seriously. I have found a wonderful community that can be welcoming and kind, but it can also be cliquey, mean, and downright awful.
You know, hon, vintage isn't for everyone, especially you.
I like vintage stuff, but to be honest, you're annoying and I don't like you.
Can you believe she forgot to put that in her video? Wow, and she says she's a fashion historian? What a freak.
That's not
Seeing
even
this
vintage.
video
like
makes me want to
Michael
put
But I
a
have to see
dog
one
real
more
Honestly, I
and
just
there's so
wish
much
all
more
the
I'm going to
dogs
tell
down
you.
in fire.
And the list goes on. So why do these people feel the need to attack me and other creators for simply liking what they like? Let's discuss the term first. Oxford Language describes gatekeeping as the activity of controlling and usually limiting general access to something. You can see this apply to the vintage community in numerous amounts of different ways, such as gatekeeping different vintage icons. Most notably, Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe has been an icon ever since she graced the silver screen during Hollywood's golden age. Everyone can appreciate her wit and charm, but some take it to the extreme. Enjoy this skit I've made for you.
Wow, don't you just love Marilyn Monroe? I mean, she's so classic.
Did you bring your
I
glasses?
think I want to get a picture of her to hang up on my wall. That'd be cool. Are you serious? Do you know her name isn't even Marilyn Monroe? It's Norma Jean.
Man, how do
She
I
doesn't
tell
even
her
have
that I
blonde
know
hair.
all of
And you call
this?
yourself a fan?
Maybe
You're
I
gonna
should
put
just
her on
agree
your
with
wall
her.
and You don't even know that? Wow.
Never
mind. That's so pathetic. Right.
For a lot of people, being interested in one thing now is not enough. You have to have a full-blown PhD to be interested in something. This sort of thing has always bothered me, as we now cannot be interested in something without someone else from the community shunning us, or a more woke term, correcting us. Yes, there will always be someone with more information than you, but that doesn't mean you cannot still enjoy something, and it sure doesn't mean you need to correct someone because of the mere ability to make the other person feel dumb, and to try and lower them as an individual in the community. Gatekeeping history. This is most notably the one I deal with the most. If you haven't visited my TikTok, you might not know, but I create content focusing on fashion history and or vintage history. There I will create videos like what they wore in the 1950s, or what housewives wear, or the history of pants. I take my time curating and finding different resources so I can make my videos as accurate as possible. In all of my videos, I always take the time to say, not everyone wore this. You could have had different experiences. This is just what I have found. Here are my citations. And every time I will get comments like this.
She acts like she's from our era.
Oh my gosh, like seriously, you don't even know anything about it.
This is definitely not how I remember the 1950s.
And yes, without saying it, yes, we know the age of these people are typically the same. They will usually be from these different eras I'm talking about. Even when I have factual evidence and citations of my videos, some still find the need to flat out say I'm wrong. And you know, I don't really care they think I'm wrong because I know I'm not entirely wrong. I have citations. What I care more about is that they can only see it through their minds. People have different experiences, but these people make it a point that their experiences trump everyone else's. They don't look at it as a discussion. They look at it as me, a younger person, is trying to tell them what they wore. And it's a big reason why I no longer discuss anything from the 1970s, as I've been given death threats from older men.
Herein and herein contained, etc., etc.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You're an inhuman monster.
When you're a curator, it's important to try and find a community, someone that also shares your interest. But oh boy, it can be incredibly toxic and difficult to find. Your hair has to be perfect, your dress has to be on point, your shoes polished, you can't have any other hobbies. But that's not the most toxic take. Everything you wear has to be period accurate. I like the late 50s, early 60s hair, but if I do that and wear a 40s outfit, my whole entire channel becomes questionable. I call BS on this. Yes, at times it can be so much fun to dress and look the part, but are we really going to judge every single thing just because little Susie is talking about 50s clothes with a 40s song playing in the background?
Pathetic. You're a freak.
The point is, why do you care so much? And my response to a lot of these types of comments are, why don't you make a video then? Obviously, they never make a video. The last form of vintage gatekeeping is the strict vintage. Future Hannah here. I just realized this is so similar to the last example I just gave. So just think of this as a bonus to the last one. So yeah. I've always been interested in several different types of time periods. I never want to box myself into one specific category because there's so much you can learn about. But there are some people that strictly fall into the lines of, I must live my life by this era, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. I say if you want to do that, go ahead. That is so cool to me. But it becomes a problem when you start to judge others.
Wow, I love your outfit. What year is it from? Thanks, yeah. It's from the 1980s. I thought you said you only liked the 1950s. I like a lot of different eras of clothing. I don't think I have a favorite anymore. Oh, okay.
This has happened to me more times than I can count. People like looking into a dollhouse. They want to see a person that has the hair, shoes, and boyfriend. What they don't want to see is a gothic punk teddy bear in the corner of your dollhouse. Sadly for us creators, we are put into a cardboard box. We cannot break the mold. So in a way, it's like some people gatekeep us into staying with what we know. And if that didn't make any sense, that's okay. That's just what I deal with on a daily basis. Overall, TikTok has made this community way more accessible. They've given people a voice. They've given me a voice to share what I love. But it has also made it more toxic. And those are all the reasons of gatekeeping in vintage fashion. So you've had similar experiences? Comment down below. I would love to hear your story. And you can check out my other socials. I post quite a bit on TikTok, but not as much as I used to because I'm taking a little bit of a break because TikTok and my mental health is... But I am going to be doing way more here on YouTube and way more on Instagram. So you can check those out below in my description. And if you guys have any other topics you would like me to touch on, let me know in the comments.
Playful twist of the
This week, a hot new bombshell enters the villa.
Don't call me up, I'm going out tonight, feeling good.
I'm Mabel, I'm 25.